Hello, Dr. Firnhaber here, and it is Wednesday, time for 10 Minutes of Truth. So today I have a really important article. Actually, it's a series of important articles on a very, very important subject. The article that I'm going to cover, at least a primary article, is out of the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. And what these series of articles cover is the connection between chronic constipation and dementia and Alzheimer's. Very, very important and interesting topic. So the name of this article is Constipation and its Associated Factors Among Patients with Dementia. Now, several new studies, and this one was included in those studies, show a distinct correlation between gut health, especially chronic constipation, and early dementia. Now, we know that one of the fastest growing chronic degenerative illnesses in this country is dementia and Alzheimer's. So this is really, really important. Chronic constipation is an indicator of poor gut health. We know that. And it's a potential warning sign of cognitive decline. So this study was 110,000 middle-aged and older adults. They considered constipation less than 3 bowel movements per week. Now, I don't know a lot of people who have that few, but that's just unbelievable that people could live and sustain themselves with less than 3 a week, but that's what they're calling chronic constipation. And these people showed early warning signs of poor brain health. And these findings were presented at the Alzheimer's Association meeting in Amsterdam recently. 73% of these people were more likely to say that their cognitive skills or their thinking ability was declining. Constipation and cognition, we know, is linked to the gut microbiome. And now we're talking about this gut-brain axis, which is connected by cranial nerve 10, the vagus nerve. So we have this crosstalk between what happens in the gut and what happens in the brain, and that's connected by the vagus nerve. And what they're saying here is that when somebody's chronically constipated, it's going to affect brain function via the vagus nerve. Now, science is exploding with research linking abnormal gut microbiome, the abnormal gut bacteria balance, to various diseases, including dementia and degenerative brain disease. Now, we don't know if it's constipation itself that's causing the brain to degenerate or if it's the underlying gut issues, the gut imbalance, the gut flora imbalance issues that's causing the constipation, that's causing the cognitive decline. So we know, again, that there's this gut-brain connection. Researchers found specific imbalances in specific gut bacteria linked to constipation. So what can be done? What can we do for this? Well, first of all, let's look at some of the causes of imbalanced gut bacteria in the GI tract and things that cause constipation in human beings. So I put 4 things down here. Number 1 is diet. We need to eat fewer foods that promote inflammation, such as sugar and highly processed foods and hot and fast foods. So we need to really reduce that in our diet. They're very inflammatory. We need to control blood sugar with diet lowered in refined carbohydrates. So what are refined carbohydrates? Well, any things, confectionery, sweets, ice cream, candy, white flour products, donuts, things like that. anything that's high in refined carbs. Number 3, be aware of any food intolerance you might have and that exacerbates the problem, and avoid those. So classic food intolerance include wheat, dairy, eggs, and grains. So if you find that a certain food makes you constipated or causes GI issues, you need to avoid those foods. And we all have them. I've got them. Everyone has them. Everyone has food intolerances that cause issues. You need to know what they are and minimize or completely avoid those things. Number 4, eat a diet very high in whole foods, vegetables, fruits, fresh vegetables, and nuts. Those are the primary things that feed your gut, your good gut bacteria. Now, what are some causes of disruption in gut bacteria? What are the things that really disrupt and cause this imbalance in the gut flora? The number 1 cause is pharmaceuticals, antibiotics, steroids, and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like over-the-counter aspirin, Tylenol, acetaminophen. All of those over-the-counter drugs cause an imbalance in gut bacteria. And this has been something that's been researched out. There's many, many scientific articles that show that. Number 2, poor diet, which we talked about. Number 3, lack of exercise. Exercise helps stimulate GI function. So if you're not exercising and you're constipated, that's probably an issue. It may not be the only issue, but it is certainly an issue. Number 3 is decrease in water intake. So if you're not drinking enough water, you may have a problem with constipation. So you need to look at how much water you're drinking. And number 5 is pathogenic gut bacteria from previous infections. So if you had like Montezuma's Revenge, or you had food poisoning or something like that at some point, and you've had chronic constipation since then, that really needs to be checked out. So what can be done? What are some things we can do? Number 1 is we can do tests. We can do a comprehensive digestive stool analysis. There's several really good labs where you can really look at what's going on with your gut bacteria. You can see, is there a parasite? Is there a problem with a pathogenic bacteria that's overgrown in your GI tract that's causing constipation or causing this imbalance? And you can really hone in on that using this comprehensive digestive stool analysis test. The other thing is that you can do our gut protocol here. You can just try that and see if that works. We have a whole protocol in our office to help rebalance gut bacteria and help heal your GI tract. And that would be worth trying. And that would be probably over at least a 3-month period of time we need to do that. So there are many different ways that you can solve this problem with gut bacteria imbalance and chronic constipation. And so if you have chronic constipation, you really need to look at your diet. You need to look at the pharmaceuticals you're taking or have taken. You need to look at how much you exercise, how much water you drink, how much sugar you eat. All of that needs to be taken into consideration. And if you have issues with this and you want to have this checked out, you can come in to our office, make an appointment for a functional medicine consult. We'll go ahead and talk to you about it. We'll set up a program for you, maybe run some tests if that's necessary, and see if we can solve this before it really starts affecting brain function. So that's all I have for you today. 2 weeks in 2 weeks on Tuesday night, so a week from next Tuesday, we're going to be doing a talk in my office, 30-minute talk on why American children are so chronically ill, why there's been such a great uptick in chronic illness in American kids. And so we'll be talking about the many factors that contribute to that at that time. That'll be 6:30 in my office in 2 weeks. So we'd love to have you at that talk. If you have an interest in kids or your grandkids being healthier and how to keep them healthy, then come to that talk, because we're going to be talking about all of those factors at that time. So that's all I have for you today. God bless you. Hope that you are developing healthy habits, and that this talk that I did today, this information, helps you to develop those healthy habits. And hope to see you soon at one of my talks. See you then.